Harley-Davidson. Just the name alone evokes the sound of that iconic potato rumble, the smell of fuel, and the feeling of pure freedom. But have you ever wondered what lies behind these legendary machines? Picture a massive space where steel, paint, welding sparks, and robotic arms come together in a mechanical dance. A place where each piece is brought to life, every part finds its match, and eventually, a brand new motorcycle rolls out under the factory lights. Today's video takes you there, deep inside one of the most iconic motorcycle factories in America. This is more than just an assembly line. It's the beating heart of an entire culture. Are you ready to uncover the secrets behind these two-wheeled legends? The moment you ask, what makes Harley-Davidson so special? The story takes us back to 1903, inside a small shed in Milwaukee. It was there that William S. Harley and Arthur Davidson built their very first motorcycle, sparking a legacy that is still alive more than 120 years later. Harley-Davidson has never just sold motorcycles. They sell a piece of American history. During World War II, the company produced over 90,000 WLA Liberators for the military, becoming an iconic sight on the front lines. The image of Harleys rolling through war zones left a mark on an entire generation. When the war ended, veterans brought their passion home, turning Harleys into a symbol of freedom. This was the birth of biker culture, leather jackets, long road trips, and that unmistakable potato rumble echoing on the open highway. Today, even though Harley-Davidson has become a global company, every bike sold in the US is still assembled in Milwaukee and York. Step through the gates of the York facility in Pennsylvania, and you're immediately struck by its sheer scale. The production complex sprawls across more than 230 acres, with over 1.5 million square feet of manufacturing space under one roof. It feels like stepping into a miniature Harley city, where every path leads to a motorcycle coming to life. Inside, the sounds of robotic welders, compressed air, and forklifts moving parts create an industrial symphony. This is the central hub for assembling most of Harley-Davidson's heavyweight models, the touring lineup, trikes, and even the premium CVO series. The factory is divided into clearly defined sections: metal stamping, frame welding, paint shop, engine storage, and the main assembly line. Each zone works like a synchronized cog in a massive machine, timed down to the minute. What's truly fascinating is that from the moment a raw frame enters until a fully assembled Harley rolls off the line, the entire process takes only about 25 hours. Here, speed and precision are critical, but quality and pride always come first. A Harley's journey begins with flat steel sheets pressed into fenders, fuel tanks, and body panels. The echo of metal stamping fills the press shop, almost like the opening note of a mechanical symphony. This stage sets the foundation for the motorcycle's shape and identity. Once stamped, the parts move to the frame welding area. Here, robotic welders perform precise, consistent welds down to the millimeter, creating the strong backbone of the motorcycle. When completed, these frames are transported to a central warehouse, waiting for their scheduled moment on the main assembly line. Interestingly, not every part is made in York. Some smaller components are imported from around the globe, but the engines and drivetrains are still built in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Harley-Davidson's historic home. This opening stage is the perfect balance of high-tech automation and human oversight, ensuring that when the frame leaves this section, it is perfectly aligned and ready. From here, the next transformation awaits: the paint process that will turn raw steel into something that looks worthy of wearing the Harley badge. The process starts with powder coating, a dry finishing method where fine powder particles are electrostatically charged and sprayed onto the metal surface. The coated frame is then baked in a high-temperature oven, causing the powder to melt, flow, and form a hard, uniform layer. This not only creates a sleek appearance, but also protects the motorcycle against rust and harsh conditions on the road. Most of this work is automated, with bright robotic arms moving in perfect rhythm, guaranteeing an even coat every time. Yet human involvement is crucial. Workers oversee the process, perform touch-ups on tricky areas, and hand polish each part to perfection. By the end of this stage, the frame and components shine with their signature finish, ready to move on to the next step, meeting their heart, the legendary Milwaukee 8 engine. The Milwaukee 8 engines, built at the Menominee Falls plant near Milwaukee, are transported to York and stored in a central warehouse. Each engine is carefully labeled and pre-matched to the exact model it will power. The process begins with assembling the key components: crankcases, crankshaft, pistons, and cylinder heads. Some stages are automated with robots to achieve perfect precision, but the most critical tasks are still performed by skilled human hands. Workers meticulously inspect every component and torque each bolt to exact specifications, because even the slightest deviation could affect performance. Once the engine is complete, it is brought to the main assembly line where the frame is waiting. The moment the engine is lowered into the frame is one of the most iconic scenes in the entire process. It's like giving the motorcycle its soul. But the journey is far from over. Immediately afterward, the frame moves onto the main conveyor line for final assembly, where the machine is completed piece by piece. The line glides smoothly, carrying the bike through dozens of stations. At each stop, workers have just under 90 seconds to finish their assigned task. From suspension and wheels to brakes, wiring, fuel tank, and exhaust, every part is installed in a carefully optimized sequence to maximize efficiency while maintaining precision. What stands out here is the perfect choreography between human skill and automation. Robots handle the heavy lifting, torque measurements, and repetitive fastening, while workers focus on tasks requiring finesse and careful alignment. Each specialist repeats their assigned steps hundreds of times per shift, building a level of mastery that keeps quality consistent. When the Harley leaves the final station, it now stands proudly on its wheels, no longer just a frame and engine, but a fully formed motorcycle. And before it can be shipped to a dealer, it faces its most critical moment: rigorous quality checks and performance tests that ensure every bike lives up to the Harley-Davidson name. Each worker is trained intensively for a single, highly specific task, from torquing bolts and installing wiring harnesses to inspecting paint finishes. By focusing on one function and repeating it hundreds of times per shift, they achieve near-perfect precision. New employees go through rigorous training before ever setting foot on the line. They learn to use torque wrenches, electronic testing devices, and follow strict safety protocols. Once proficient, they become experts in their narrow specialty, forming a critical link that keeps quality consistent across tens of thousands of motorcycles built each year. Meanwhile, automated monitoring systems continuously record data from every station, flagging any anomalies so problems can be corrected immediately. This seamless blend of human expertise and advanced quality control technology is what gives Harley-Davidson its enduring reputation, building bikes that are not just beautiful, but reliable mile after mile. Up next, we'll follow these motorcycles into the performance testing phase. Here, the engine is fired up and run through simulated real-world conditions, idle, acceleration, and sustained high speeds. Every metric, horsepower, torque, temperature, and RPM stability is recorded to ensure the engine performs exactly as intended. If any irregularities are found, the bike is sent back for adjustments and re-inspection, eliminating potential failures before it reaches a customer. Beyond the engine, the electrical system, brakes, lights, and all safety-critical components are thoroughly checked. Once it passes all tests, the motorcycle is cleaned, polished, and fitted with final decals and badges. Each Harley that leaves the factory must meet not only performance expectations, but also visual perfection, gleaming and showroom ready. After seeing Harley-Davidson's rigorous testing process, it's fascinating to look at its oldest rival, Indian Motorcycle, and discover how these two legendary brands approach motorcycle building differently. Indian, founded in 1901, actually predates Harley by 2 years. Today, all Indian bikes are assembled at the Spirit Lake plant in Iowa. The facility is far smaller than Harley's York factory, employing about 550 technicians, which means a greater proportion of the work is done by hand with less automation. Many enthusiasts feel this adds a personal touch and gives Indian motorcycles a distinct, handcrafted character. Indian also differs in product philosophy. The company has focused heavily on liquid-cooled engines like the Power Plus 60-degree V-twin, delivering smooth, high-revving performance. Harley, by contrast, has stayed true to its air-cooled V-twins, preserving that iconic potato-potato rumble that has become part of its identity. Despite their differences, both brands share core values: American pride, meticulous craftsmanship, and fiercely loyal communities. This rivalry has pushed them both to keep evolving, ensuring that every American cruiser built today lives up to more than a century of history. This factory tour showed us that every Harley-Davidson is more than just a machine. It's the result of over a century of history, the dedication of thousands of workers, and the spirit of freedom that defines America. Every weld, every coat of paint, every rumbling engine tells the story of a brand that has shaped an entire culture. Now it's your turn. What did you think of this process? Which part impressed you the most? The robotic frame welding, the powder coating process, or the moment the engine was lowered into the frame? Do you prefer Harley's traditional approach or Indian's more modern take? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for more behind-the-scenes tours, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next deep dive into the secrets of the American motorcycle world.